Okay, welcome back to the video on bond prices and stock prices are similar. If you think back to our analysis of the time value of money equations, we learned that those formulas are all interrelated. And if you understand one formula, then you can manipulate it to isolate each of the variables as you need them. And in working with the bond and stock prices, it is no different. And although the book is going to show you two different formulas, the formulas are interrelated and they're closely related enough that you can almost say that they are the same. So to get everything started off on the right foot, let's look at the bond pricing formula first. And at this point, you already know that there are 4 steps in bond pricing. Okay, the first step, so we have 4 steps. The first step is to lay out the timing and the amount of the cash flows. So you need the timing and amount. And the second step is to determine the appropriate discount rate for the cash flows. And the third step is to find the present value of the lump sum principal and the annuity stream. And the final step is to add the present value of the lump sum principal and the present value of all the coupons together, and that will give you the final bond price. Now ultimately, when we use this formula, it sets forth the 4 steps. Okay, so let's look at the bond price in the bond pricing formula in greater detail. We have the bond price is equal to the par value times 1 times 1 plus r raised to the nth. That should look familiar to you. Okay, plus the coupon times 1 minus 1 over 1 plus r raised to the nth divided by r. Now let's look at the formula in detail in terms of these 4 steps. Now, number 1, lay out the timing and the amount of the future cash flows promised. Now that is taken care of when you identify the coupon rate. Okay, so that is step 1. The second step is to determine the appropriate discount rate for the cash flow, and that is the R in our formula. So the R is our discount rate, and that takes care of step 2. The third step, find the present value of the lump sum principal and the annuity stream. Now step 3 is represented by the present value interest factor and the present value interest factor of an annuity. That's this part of the problem here, and this part right here is the present value interest factor for an annuity, and it should all come together rather nicely. Now when we move into looking at stocks, the formula appears to change, but it is essentially the same. So let's compare the 2 formulas. All right, we have our bond pricing formula here, and then our stock pricing formula is equal to the future value times the present value interest factor plus the dividend stream times the present value interest factor of an annuity Now the only difference between these 2 formulas are the use of the terms future value or future price instead of par value, and the use of the word dividend instead of coupon. In the second part, And except for these two differences, these two formulas are exactly alike. Now, both require that you find the present value of the future price, or the par value, and add it to the income stream being generated, whether it is a coupon or a dividend. Now, I would not memorize both. I would memorize one and learn the differences between them. And after you watch this video in terms of bond pricing, you may decide that it's a good idea to watch it again once you begin your study on the pricing of stocks.